Hi all, welcome to my channel. I'm Mark, this is Mark's Mods, and today guys we're doing our Enterprise D build. So we are going to do stage 66 of Build the Enterprise D. And today we're not really doing much. We're working on one of the nacelle pylons, and we have got another panel for the saucer section, but we're not fitting it, so I don't need to bring the saucer section down today. Oh, well, we've got no LEDs to do today as well, which is very strange. Strange to do an issue when you've got no LEDs to put in. So yeah, just deal with it as it is, really, I suppose. It shouldn't take too long, touch wood, but you know, I've said that before, and then it's all been a complete disaster. So we'll just have to see how things go. Anyway, let's get started with this build today. So with all that said, let's get modelling.
Program complete. Enter when ready.
Okay guys, so stage 66 is assemble and fit a spring-loaded section of the port nacelle pylon before constructing the next panel of the lower saucer section, or the lower saucer. Okay, so, yeah, we've got some return of some old friends today. So we need this piece here. And this is going to be part of our phaser array. And then we've got some little tiny springs that we need to put onto there and onto there. And they don't give you any spares of these springs, so be careful that you don't lose them. With that in place, we're going to bring this panel across that we got in today's stage. And we're going to place them into there like so, without trying to lose any. Just like that. Then we need to bring over our pylon. Now I've got some wires on mine. This is for my power mod, so don't worry if yours doesn't. This is just so that I can do the power mod. And what we're going to do is we're going to fit this panel onto the pylon. So what I'm going to do is, because of them springs, I'm going to actually do it this way. So let's hopefully see this come together and we don't lose anything. And that's come together-ish. It's springy on one side but not springy on the other. Let's see where. Yeah, we're going wrong here. Right, springy on that side, but not springy on that side. Let's just take this off. See if we can solve the problem. Might just be the way it's fitted, I don't know. So we'll put these back. I'm going to try the springs in a different area. So one in there. I don't think it's anything to do with what I've done, why it's not fitting properly, but I'm sure we'll soon find out. Okay, so try this again. Right, I think that is because there's nothing really on that side holding them springs in yet. Okay, and that is the next stage. So we need the next panel. Now this panel came in stage 65. So this is 65F. And what we're going to do is we're going to place this panel onto here, lining everything up. Now I have heard some people have had fitment problems with this one. Let's see. No, it's pretty damn good. Now that's starting to spring, which is great. Slight bulge there, but the wire is not being affected at all. I think that's pretty good to go, really. Okay, yeah, I think that's fitted quite nicely. Okay, so we need to screw this together, and we need 2 BP screws just in there. Also, with this, I've got to be careful that I don't over tighten these, because a lot of people have over tightened the screws and it's caused a bit of a problem. So I'm going to make sure, in fact, I'm going to get a smaller screwdriver, and that way I don't over torque these. That's one in there. Hey, it's nice to be putting some panels on this pylon section. That's one in there. Then we need another 2 on the outside. And I can see what people say, actually, this bottom bit is actually coming away a little bit, but that will be sorted by the other panels that are going to go on. Okay, so just 2 at this end. 1. And then that's 2. Now you could run some glue underneath that. I'm not really bothered. I think it'll get itself sorted and line up, but you can see there is a bit of a gap there. Oh, that's it. So that's all we need to do on that section. Now we do have the next one, which would be to put these screw covers just onto these here. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to wait to put all the screw covers and bits and pieces on at the end of the build. So I'm just going to put them away, label them in a bag. I'll show you now. So let me grab a little bag, get tons of these with parts in, put them in there, then just label the bag what the stage number is. So these came in 66. Then I can go back to that magazine and put them in when we're done. Okay, so we can move the pylon on to one side now, because the next thing we need to do is we've got another piece of the hull section for the saucer for the underneath. So I'm just going to get this out here. Nice that they come in these protective casings. And we've got some lifeboats and windows to put in, so let's get that done. So lifeboat in there. Let's do our windows. So we want a blank one there. A blank one there. And a blank one there. And then we want a clear one there. And a clear one in there. That's left us 2 black ones and 3 clear ones. Okay, next what we need to do is we need to secure all this in place. So I hate it when they shift things around. I really wish they wouldn't do that. So let's get these pieces out. So these are these here. So let's put this first one in, which I believe is this one. Yeah. So this is just going to go onto here without it slipping off. And we need to screw that down. I know that's just happened. It would happen to me. Let's just put them back in. I can't really do the tape method on this because of the way the windows are located. So a little bit, yeah, it can be a bit of pain. Right, so that wants an AM screw into it. I'm going to go for a bit of a bigger screwdriver. I'm not going to put any oil on these because they're that small screws. I don't think they're going to need it. And no, they don't really need it. Okay, so that's that one on there. I'm going to put this one next. onto this section because I don't want these windows coming out again. Again with an AM screw. Okay, and then lastly, making sure that's the right way around, which it is, we need to put this black piece on. And this is going to fit. I wish to tell you which way these go around. I believe it is, it's going to go on like so. Yeah, okay. And again, 2 AM screws. Yeah, I'm not using any oil because these are small screws. So they are actually going in, no problem. And there was a time we did part works and we didn't use any oil and we had metal screws. So although the 3-in-1 oil does help and I do use it a lot, sometimes it's just, you can still get away with it. Okay, so they are all in place. Just make sure everything's fully tightened down. Don't want anything coming loose. Yep. Okay, now that's all buttoned down. Okay, and then lastly, at least we don't have to wait till another issue to do this. Got our phaser strip, and that's just going to go onto there, turn it over, and we're just screwing that in with 2 CP screws. That's 1. And that's 2. And that is our panel complete. Fantastic. Now, does it fit back in its little thing? Yes, it does. So I can keep that on there to protect it while until we put it on. And would you believe that is the end of this stage and the end of magazine 17. Wow. So we have got our panel with all the windows and the lifeboat, and we've also got our pylon. Yes, that is getting to be a huge gap now. I could put a tad little bit of glue on it. I don't know, I'll see. I've got a tendency to think that that might come off, but I'd have to wait and see. But that is this stage complete. So that is stage 66 complete and magazine 17 done. Well guys, that is it for our Enterprise D build, and it's nice to finish magazine 17 actually. Now I do have magazine 18 ready to go for next week, and I also have all the parts as well ready for next week. It does look like in magazine 18 we're not doing a right lot, to be perfectly honest with you. This build has kind of slowed down. I don't know whether it's because we've got to the sort of mid build section, so we're over halfway there. So they're really starting to slow it down a little bit, and then we'll have a nice marathon sprint at the end. I don't know if that's the case, but that's what it feels like at the moment, because we don't seem to be doing so much an issue. Before we were sort of doing a panel and then fitting the panel and stuff like that, but just the way it goes, unfortunately. They have to stretch it out over how many issues, so what can you do? Anyway guys, if you like this video, please could you give it a massive thumbs up. If you haven't already subscribed, please remember to subscribe and hit the notification bell and you'll be notified of any future videos. But as for always, stay safe and bye for now. And don't get tongue-tied, Mark.